The American people are, they understand that souls don't have a color. They believe that to a bear, all of us taste the same, like chicken. So this obsession now with diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's not really, I mean, it's a pretty phrase, but it's not diversity. Who's against diversity? That's like being against golden retrievers. General, how are you?
I'm well, sir. Thank you.
Good. General, you believe in diversity, don't you?
I do, sir, yes.
Yeah. And if I defined equity as a state of fairness and impartiality, you believe in equity, don't you?
Well, equity is a proxy for discrimination, unfortunately. In these
I know,
policies,
but I'm not talking about the proxy. If I define it as a state of fairness and impartiality.
Those are very important virtues, yes, sir.
I agree with, I certainly agree with equity. And I watched it through your confirmation here. You strike me as an inclusive person as opposed to exclusive. You seem to like people.
I like to think so, sir.
So you believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, as most normal people understand those terms. But that's not what we're talking about here, is it?
And no, it isn't.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion, as many institutions and people in America like to use it, are talking about quotas, aren't they?
Yes, unfortunately, quotas have become the proxy for that vaunted slogan.
So when someone says diversity, equity, inclusion, we're talking about quotas. Let's be honest.
Quotas and discrimination.
Do you think, let's just take race. You can discriminate on any number of things, and shouldn't discriminate on any of them, not an illegitimate characteristic, but let's just take race. Do you think race should be used to harm a person?
It's illegal to use race either to affirmatively try to help or discriminate against an individual.
It's wrong to use race to harm somebody.
Yes, sir.
It's wrong to harm somebody because of their race.
Yeah, it's illegal and un-American.
Yeah, it's okay to harm them legally and appropriately because they're an a-hole, but not because of their race, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, it's also wrong and illegal to help somebody because of their race.
That is correct.
I mean, that's illegal, right?
Under our Supreme Court precedents and our laws, that is correct.
Okay. But we still have institutions, even after the Supreme Court's opinion, we still have institutions in America, some in government, certainly some in the private sector. I'm thinking of some of our universities who insist on implementing quotas. And that's what you're going after, as I understand it.
I'm aggressively seeking to end those quotas. They're illegal and un-American.
Okay. And that's really what we're talking about, is quotas. And the American people don't support quotas. They just don't. I mean, I think most Americans don't think about race as much as people in Washington, D.C. do. The American people are, they understand that souls don't have a color. They believe that to a bear, all of us taste the same, like chicken. So this obsession now with diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's not really, I mean, it's a pretty phrase, but it's not diversity. Who's against diversity? That's like being against golden retrievers. Who's against equity? Who's against inclusion? So they pretty it up, but they're really talking about quotas. And it's illegal, and it's immoral, and it's un-American, and it exists. And I'm watching it happen in our universities. You know, I mean, Harvard, I wish it weren't the case. Incredible university, really bright people, but it's clear they believe in diversity and equity and inclusion and the right to hurt Jewish people. What did we come to? Any closing comments? I said too much.
No, Senator, I agree with you, and I will say that the whole of this government is dedicated towards providing equal opportunity for all Americans. And anti-Semitism on our campuses is a shocking problem, but we've actually made great progress just in these first 100 days on that front. So thank you for your attention to these issues.
General, don't let the bastards get you down, okay?
I want to ask you about discrimination of a somewhat different kind. That's discrimination on the basis of religion. In the last administration, I'm sure you remember, the FBI issued a memorandum in which it attempted to recruit informants, spies, into Catholic parishes and probably, frankly, other Christian churches on the basis of these churches' theology. They designated and they created a list, an actual list. The United States government created a list of Catholic parishes and groups it did not like, branded them as traditionalist Catholics, I guess that's now a slur, and tried to recruit spies into these churches, which is unbelievable to me. I mean, you want to talk about a violation of one's civil rights. To my knowledge, that memo has never been formally withdrawn. The Attorney General of the United States at the time, Eric Garland, sat where you're sitting, first denied it, then attempted to defend it. It is, in fact, totally indefensible. My question to you is, what can be done about discrimination like this by our own governmental institutions? I think one of the things people voted for in electing the current president, who I was proud to support, is they voted to put a stop to that kind of discrimination, to that kind of abuse of our own citizens by our own government. And I just submit to you, of all the abuses of the Biden era, and there were a lot, there's nothing lower than trying to recruit spies into churches to inform on your countrymen because, what, you don't like what's being preached from the pulpit? I mean, this is insane stuff, and they were using the FBI to do it. Can something be done about this to hold accountable the people within the DOJ and the FBI who perpetrated what I frankly think are crimes? I mean, what can we do about this?
Well, Senator, first I want to assure you that the policy that you just described would appear to be a dead letter today. We are certainly not doing anything of that nature in the Civil Rights Division or, to my knowledge, throughout the United States Department of Justice. Good. To the contrary, I would say, and I've been a civil liberties lawyer in favor of religious liberties for over 3 decades, this is the most religion-friendly Department of Justice in United States history. In the Civil Rights Division so far, we have taken action to side with a Catholic coach in the Rolovich case who was fired for refusing to take the COVID vaccine. We intervened in a lawsuit in Washington State, also where Rolovich is from, to challenge that state's discrimination against Catholic clergy, enforcing and trying to pierce their priest penitent privilege, and that law was just enjoined this week by a federal judge in Washington State. We have opened up numerous, in just less than 100 days, Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Persons Act, majority for the Christian community, but also for Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, and other faiths as well. And we have opened up investigations into anti-Semitism throughout the United States. And I've been told by Jewish leaders who sat in my conference room that they had similar conversations with my predecessor because this problem is not a new problem, unfortunately. It is a problem that has been going on for years. And while my predecessor kindly nodded and listened to their complaints, nothing happened. Things are happening in this administration, and our door is open to people of all faiths to come and tell us what is happening, zoning violations, discrimination. Certainly if the government is spying on them, that would be outrageous, and I would be interested to know names and dates, and we would begin an investigation into that, sir.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly what I think we need to find out. I mean, we need names and dates. We need to know who authored that memo. And those people, their names need to be made public. And if they are still employed, God forbid, at the FBI or the Department of Justice, they need to be fired. I mean, I just think we need some accountability, don't you? I mean, I think if you look at what's happened in the last 4 years, you look at how religious rights were trampled upon. Let's not forget, during COVID, who was shut down? Do you remember? Who was shut down during COVID? The churches, the synagogues. Who was open? Oh, well, the marijuana dispensaries, they were open. Democrat Party donors, all the corporations gave the Democrat Party, they were all open. But churches, closed. Synagogues, closed. And then to have our own FBI recruiting informants into our churches, it's outrageous. I think we need to know who wrote these memos, who approved them, where were they distributed, and I think people need to be fired for it. And then I think, if possible, they need to be prosecuted for it. Don't you think? I mean, don't you think it's time for some accountability? I think we've got to turn the page and do better, sure, but we've got to hold accountable the people who did this in the first instance, or they'll just do it again.
Well,
They'll just do it again.
Senator, I agree with you. I mean, I was privileged to win between my law firm and my nonprofit 3 cases at the United States Supreme Court during COVID to protect the rights of Christians to be able to pray in my state of California. And the governor is still the governor, and there has been no accountability in that state for the gross violations of every person's right of faith. And so I hope that voters ultimately hold the elected leaders accountable, but certainly people who grossly violated the First Amendment those are names I'd like to know, and we will look into that as a result of.
This is my last thing, Mr. Chairman, and I thank you for holding this hearing. I just think that you're right about voters, and voters did they voted for a change in November. They voted for accountability, and now we've got to give it to them. And I just want to, I know you're not in charge of the FBI, but I just want to send a clear message to everybody who is. There has got to be some accountability for what has happened with our government. There has got to be accountability for how it was abused. And religious believers were abused in the last 4 years, over and over and over. And we've talked about it, and we've held hearings on it, and now it's time to do something about it. And the people who perpetrated these outrageous abuses of our First Amendment rights, they need to be held accountable. They need to be held accountable, and they need to be held accountable as soon as possible. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.